Love created me like itself. Love created me like itself. Love holds no grievances. Love holds no grievances. Love created me like itself. Love holds no grievances. Well, thank you for allowing me into your world to share with you A Course in Miracles, published by Foundation for Inner Peace. I'm Miracle Willie, forgiveness teacher from the Ozarks, and we're ready for lesson 84, which is review of lesson 67 and 68. These are the ideas for today's review. 67, love created me like itself. And let's see, I don't think I said, but today is Sunday, March the 24th of 2024. Love created me like itself. I am in the likeness of my Creator. I cannot suffer, I cannot experience loss, and I cannot die. Everybody who dies can say that. Well, I can't die. I'm more alive now that I'm dead than I was before I died, a lot of people say. From the other side, or those NDE experiences. They give us a little taste of what it's like on the other side. I am in the likeness of my Creator. I cannot suffer, I cannot experience loss, and I cannot die. I'm not a body. I would recognize my reality today. I will worship no idols, nor raise my own self-concept to replace myself. I will not raise my own self-concept to replace myself, my true self. I am in the likeness of my Creator. Love created me like itself. To think that you could die is to make an idol of yourself, a concept of yourself that's not according to reality, according to truth, which is an idol. And those who make idols, we learned yesterday, wasn't it yesterday, that those who make idols will worship them. Well, we want to start recognizing what's true and what's not, and let go of what's not true so that we can maintain our function, which is to be happy as the light of the world, armed with forgiveness. You might find these specific forms helpful in applying the idea, love created me like itself. Let me not see an illusion of myself in this. As I look on this, let me remember my Creator. My Creator did not create this as I see it. So when you're seeing something that seems to speak of terror, say, well, I must be seeing this differently than my Creator made it. So let me not worship an idol. Don't let me believe in something that's not real. Love created me like love. Love created me like itself. I'm a love being, and so are you. Love holds no grievances. Well, that's just an obvious. Love holds no grievances. If you're really loving, you're not going to be holding a grievance, because that's the opposite of love. Love holds no grievances. Grievances are completely alien to love. Grievances attack love and keep its light obscure. If I hold grievances, I am attacking love, and therefore attacking myself. Myself thus becomes alien to me. If I hold grievances, I am attacking love, and therefore attacking myself, because I'm a love being. Myself thus becomes alien to me. I'm determined not to attack myself today so that I can remember who I am. These specific forms for applying this idea would be helpful. This is no justification for denying myself. I will not use this to attack love. Let this not tempt me to attack myself. So during the day, if you see something that comes up that kind of takes your joy away, restore yourself with one of those ideas. But the overall idea is love created me like itself. And we want to be sure to take about 15 minutes in the morning and think. I read through both of the lessons in the morning, and then I read through the first part again, love created me like itself, and I kind of do it as a reading meditation. I keep my eyes open, have a book on my lap, and then as I read a sentence or two, after I've read the whole thing, then I read a sentence or two, and then close my eyes and contemplate it, and then just see where that takes me. If I find my mind wanders, I come back and I read it again or read the next sentence or two. Okay, and then in the afternoon, I move over to the afternoon review, and I usually read through it one time. Love holds no grievances. I usually don't do a long meditation in the middle of the day because I'm busy working a lot of times. But I'll do a short one just to kind of set the stage for the rest of the day. And then in the evening, I'll read the whole thing again, but then I'll focus on the second part, love holds no grievances. Now that's how I do it. And I do it the same way with my little reading meditation, and then slowly after 3 or 4 minutes, just keep my eyes closed. Yeah, I usually set my clock for 15 minutes. That way people around me kind of know what I'm doing, and that when the timer goes off, they know I'm usually finished. If no one's listening and I don't have anything else to do, a lot of times I just go, okay, well, I'm just stay right here. I'm in a good space now. And sometimes I can spend quite a long time just sitting in the silence. Okay, love holds no grievances, and love created me like itself. Now let's go take a look in our text reading for today. And we're in chapter 10, the idols of sickness. Wow, those who make idols will bow down and worship them. So let's free ourselves from idols. And this section we're ready for today, section 4, the end of sickness. And while we're turning there, let's see what's going on around the world today. It's Palm Sunday and Passion Sunday, the Passion of Christ. You can read about Palm Sunday in the triumphal entry, they call it, though there wasn't any triumph. We're exalted, but we don't triumph. But it was called the triumphal entry. Mark 11, verse 8 through 10, and Luke 19, 35 through 40. In there, he says, you know, that some of the religious teachers said, are you going to let people worship you like this? He said, look, if they didn't sing Hosanna to the highest right now, the very rocks would cry out. So I a lot of times think of myself when I'm playing my guitar that I'm so filled with the joy of this information that I've got to like express it. And I use my guitar to sing it. I may be just a rock, but at least I'm singing out. I mean, I guess in some ways you could think our physical body is nothing more but rocks. We're just minerals put together, but it's the consciousness that's our reality. And then also, if you want to read the whole thing about the Passion, it's also known as Passion Sunday. You can read about it in Matthew 26 and 27, the whole chapter. International Day for the Rights to the Truth Concerning Gross Human Rights Violations and for the Dignity of Victims. I think that's probably our longest title. International Day of Achievers. Let's achieve one-mindedness. Let's achieve permanent happiness. Or maybe it's just intermittent in the beginning. We're going to learn about how we regain our awareness, starting with a little bit, getting to the greater. You know, we'll get to the great rays, but we start by noticing the little sparks. And we'll learn about that in our reading here in just a moment, our text reading. National Cheese Steak Day, National Chocolate Covered Raisins Day, National Cocktail Day, World Tuberculosis Day. And then in edible landscaping, you know, I really want us to try to understand a lot of different plants and their usefulnesses and how to grow them so that we'll be prepared to do just that. Crimson Night Raspberry out of edible landscaping. So we've been going through a lot of perennials, but right now it's certainly time you should be planting your potatoes. If you haven't put them in the ground, get them put into the ground. A lot of your cold weather plants, all your brassicas and lettuces can be planted here in the Ozarks. Crimson Night Raspberry. Crimson Night Raspberry is a great flavored fruit and a welcome surprise to all that have tried it. Fruits are large and dark red color, bursting with raspberry pizzazz. Crimson Night is a new spring and fall bearing variety from Cornell and is very ornamental plant with dark purple canes, spaced 3 foot apart in 5 foot wide beds, zones 4 through 8. And on the floricanes, the ones that you leave over from the last year, they'll produce in the spring. But it'll also produce new ones in the spring, and they'll produce on those primicanes, they'll produce a crop in the fall. So you can actually get 2 harvests. They're almost like an ever-bearing raspberry. Now let's take a look at Permaculture for Beginners by Carrie Mitchell, and we're in chapter 5, which is called Plant Placement, and we're in sectors. Each system or element within your design needs to be placed for optimal interaction with sunlight, wind, rain, snow, and frost. Plants need to either harness those energies or be sheltered from them. Avoid placing tall plants in sectors where they might block the low winter sunlight from entering your home. Consider also how the content of the garden influences wind hitting the house. Modify ambient noise and views of the landscape. At heart, permaculture gardeners are lovers of nature, looking to bring the best out of it for a home. Picturesque views and protection from the elements are important functions a permaculture garden can perform. Design your sectors to create nice looking niche areas. Frost will gather in dips in the ground, while a nearby watercourse could cause potential flood sector. Place plants that would benefit from the prevalent conditions of each sector, but always keep one eye on how these sectors influence the overall pattern of the garden. Okay, now let's look at the end of sickness. And of course, keep in mind today, love created me like itself. Love holds no grievances. The end of sickness. All magic is an attempt at reconciling the irreconcilable. All religion is the recognition that the irreconcilable cannot be reconciled. Sickness and perfection are irreconcilable. If God created you perfect, you are perfect. If you believe you can be sick, you have placed other gods before him. Wow. God is not at war with the God of sickness you made, but you are. He is the symbol of deciding against God. And you are afraid of him because he cannot be reconciled with God's will. If you attack him, you will make him real to you. But if you refuse to worship him in whatever form he may appear to you, and wherever you think you see him, he will disappear into the nothingness out of which he was made. Reality can dawn only on an unclouded mind. Reality can dawn only on a mind that has freed itself from beliefs that are not according to truth. It is always there to be accepted, but its acceptance depends on your willingness to have it. To know reality must involve the willingness to judge unreality for what it is. To overlook nothingness is merely to judge it correctly, and because of your ability to evaluate it truly, to let it go. Knowledge cannot dawn on a mind full of illusions, because truth and illusions are irreconcilable. Truth is whole and cannot be known by part of a mind. 3. The sonship cannot be perceived as partly sick, because to perceive it that way is not to perceive it at all. If the sonship is one, it is one in all respects. Oneness cannot be divided. If you perceive other gods, your mind is split, and you will not be able to limit the split, because it is the sign that you have removed part of your mind from God's will. This means it is out of control. To be out of control is to be out of reason, and then the mind does become unreasonable. By defining the mind wrongly, you perceive it as functioning wrongly. 4. God's laws will keep your mind at peace because peace is His will, and His laws are established to uphold it. His are the laws of freedom, but yours are the laws of bondage. Since freedom and bondage are irreconcilable, their laws cannot be understood together. The laws of God work only for your good, and there are no other laws beside His, and they work only for your good. And there are no other laws besides His. Everything else is merely lawless and therefore chaotic. Yet God Himself has protected everything He created by His laws. Everything that is not under them does not exist. Laws are chaos. Laws of chaos is a meaningless term. Creation is perfectly lawful, and the chaotic is without meaning because it is without God. You have given your peace to the gods you made, but they are not there to take it from you, and you cannot give it to them, not in reality. 5. You are not free to give up freedom, but only to deny it. You cannot do what God did not intend, because what He did not intend does not happen. Now that's something you really want to take away from this reading today. You cannot do what God did not intend, because what He did not intend does not happen. Only in dreams does it appear to happen. Your gods do not bring chaos. You're endowing them with chaos and accepting it of them. All this has never been. Nothing but the laws of God has ever been, and nothing but His will ever be. You were created through His laws and by His will, and the manner of your creation established you a creator. What you have made is so unworthy of you that you could hardly want it. If you are willing to see it as it is, you will see nothing at all. If you're willing to see, you'll see nothing at all. Let's read that again. What you have made is so unworthy of you that you could hardly want it. If you were willing to see it as it is, you will see nothing at all. And your vision will automatically look beyond it, to what is in you and all around you. Reality cannot break through the obstructions you interpose, but it will envelop you completely when you let them go. 6. When you have experienced the protection of God, the making of idols becomes inconceivable. There are no strange images in the mind of God, and what is not in His mind cannot be in yours, because you are of one mind, and that mind belongs to Him. It is yours because it belongs to Him, for to Him ownership is sharing. And if it is so for Him, it is so for you. His definitions are His laws, for by them He established the universe as what it is. No false gods you attempt to interpose between yourself and your reality affect truth at all. Peace is yours because God created you, and He created nothing else. That's why we can say, as Jesus or Moses was told, who should I say sent me? And the burning bush, God appeared to Moses, and He said, just say that I am that I am. And, that's something that I see is what He's saying here when He says, peace is yours because God created you and He created nothing else. So really everything that has been created is created by God. I am that I am. So everything that considers itself an I am, which would be everything that identifies itself, you can say, I am that I am. Anyway, but just keep in mind that He created nothing else. Peace is yours because God created you, and He created nothing else. Everything you look at is you. Paragraph 7. The miracle is the act of a Son of God who has laid aside all false gods and calls on his brothers to do likewise. Again on that. The miracle is the act of a Son of God who has laid aside all false gods and calls on his brothers to do likewise. It is an act of faith because it is the recognition that his brother can do it. It is a call to the Holy Spirit in his mind, a call that is strengthened by joining. Because the miracle worker has heard God's voice, he strengthens it in a sick brother by weakening his belief in sickness, which he does not share. Can we do that? Can we look beyond even what our brother thinks is going on and see that there is a non-sickness, that there is a reality that can't be sick within that brother that's manifesting right now in reality, and that we can grasp onto that reality? Because the miracle worker has heard God's voice, he strengthens it in a sick brother by weakening his belief in sickness, which he does not share. The power of one mind can shine into another mind because all the lamps of God were lit by the same spark. It is everywhere and is eternal. And the last paragraph, 8. In many only the spark remains, for the great rays are obscured. Yet God has kept the spark alive so that the rays can never be completely forgotten. If you but see the little spark, you will learn of the greater light, for the rays are there unseen. Perceiving the spark will heal, but knowing the light will create. Yet in the returning, the little light must be acknowledged first, for the separation was a descent from magnitude to littleness. But the spark is still as pure as the great light, because it is the remaining call of creation. Put all your faith in it, and God Himself will answer you. So any light at all is worth putting your faith in. And as we continue putting our faith in, and we remove more and more of the darkness from our field of vision, we're able to become creators as we were intended to be. Starting with healing and going on to creating. So our lesson 84, love created me like itself. I am in the likeness of my Creator. I cannot suffer, I cannot experience loss, and I cannot die. I am not a body. I would recognize my reality today. I will worship no idols, nor raise my own self-concept to replace myself. I am in the likeness of my Creator. Love created me like love, like itself. You might find these specific forms helpful in applying the idea. So if you're tempted today, tell yourself, let me not see an illusion of myself in this temptation or in this trial or in this problem, in this difficulty, in this thing that seems to be robbing me or wanting to rob me of my peace, but I'm being vigilant only for God and His kingdom. And I'm going to say, as I look on this, let me remember my Creator. Or I might say, my Creator did not create this as I see it, so I need to change my mind about how I'm seeing it. And then in the afternoon, you'll say, love holds no grievances. Grievances are completely alien to love. Grievances attack love and keep its light obscure. If I hold grievances, I am attacking love and therefore attacking myself. Myself thus becomes alien to me. I'm determined not to attack myself today so that I can remember who I am. These specific forms for applying this idea would be helpful. This is no justification for denying myself. regardless of what comes into your view. You don't have to let it deny you your reality as a love being. I will not use this to attack love. Of course, that's just another way of saying love holds no grievances. Or, let this not tempt me to attack myself. Okay, well, we understand what we're going to do. And then throughout the day, try to bring it to your memory, certainly whenever you feel tempted to lose your peace. Other than that, try for once an hour and do your 2 15-minute practice periods where you can read for the first 3 or 4 minutes of it and then try to keep your eyes closed and do it into the quiet silence afterwards. Opening your eyes if you need to review what you've got on your lap, on your book opened. Love created me like itself. Love created me like itself. Love created me like itself. Love holds no grievances. Love holds no grievances. Love holds no grievances. Love created me like itself. Holiness created me holy. Kindness created me kind. Helpfulness created me helpful. Perfection created me perfect. Love created me like itself. Love holds no grievances. I would wake to myself by laying all grievances aside and awakening in Him. Love holds no grievances. Love created me like itself. Love created me like itself, and love holds no grievances. And we did the word for peace out of Filipino the other day, and I got a little more information about it from my nephew that's over there in the Philippines. Batitio means peace between you and me. So batitio, we used that word before, but I got a little more better pronunciation, a little deeper meaning. So in Filipino, batitio. Love created me like itself. Love holds no grievances. Batitio.